With the Reds releasing their schedule, the 60-game schedule this season, just for fun, we're going to go over this bad boy. Let's project some wins and losses for these Cincinnati Reds, see where we got them finishing on the season. The first three series for these Reds, they're going to be huge. When you play a 100-loss team from the season prior, you need to cash in. This is a pitching staff that can win games every night, and I feel good about the 3-game sweep to start the season. 3 straight against Detroit. 4 straight versus the Cubs, a team where we're starting to see the tide switch back again. It feels like with the Cubs, the Reds matchup, it's a lot of one team dominates the other for a stretch of time here, and it bounces back and forth. It feels like that pendulum starting to sway back the Reds' way here. We're going to say Reds take 3 out of 4 versus the Cubs. Back to Detroit Reds. I don't think we get the sweep this time, but I do think these Reds, again, they take 2 of 3 against Detroit. They need to. They need this hot start. I cannot stress it enough. 8-2. Then comes Cleveland in the home-and-home series. This could be a tough stretch here. This is usually the stretch of games where the Reds, they lose 8 of 10. I don't want to be the negative one. I don't want to look at it that way. But, fact of the matter is, we've watched how many years now? It seems like, the Reds get off to a 6-game win streak or a hot start, and then they lose 6 in a row. They win 5, they lose 4. They win, But hey, I think new team, new year. And hopefully that's not the case anymore. I think these Reds, they dropped 3 of 4 to Cleveland. And, it's still 9-5 on the season. And they'll go back to Milwaukee. And I think they'll take 2 of 3 to get up to 11-6 on the season. Let me tell you what, if we somehow manage to actually count all these games properly, I'd be impressed. We get to 60, though, we did something right. But we're going to head back home for some more favorable matchups. The Royals, the Pirates, 6 games. You have to win these games. You have to win ththese games, and there's no room for mistakes here. And I think the Reds cash in with a sweep of KC and a split with Pittsburgh. That's 2-0, 2-2, 15-8 on the season. After an off day, the Reds head to Missouri and then Milwaukee, where I think they see their first real challenge of the season. After a split with the Royals, they head to St. Louis, where winning in Busch Stadium is at a premium for the Reds, to put it quite frank here. Will it be different with no crowd? Who knows? Until proven otherwise, we see the Reds dropping 3 of 4 against St. Louis. And with that is a long road stretch, and could possibly see that followed up with a split versus the Brewers here. We're saying a 2-2 split with the Brewers. Reds cruising along 19-14, heading back home to face the Cards and Cubs in a 3-piece. I think the Reds prevent the long losing skid once again, but aren't ready to start to jump on a hot streak wagon yet. 3-3 in the split, or in the 6 games, 22-17 on the season. Big series in Pittsburgh over the holiday weekend. Interestingly enough, the Reds will get an off day before and after this series, a much needed rest, as the Reds end up with 4 of their 6 off days in September. Saying 2-1 over there, taking the series against the Bucks. Reds 24-18, out to Chicago for 3, predicting a big sweep here. The all-inspiring sweep of the Cubs that'll instill life into everyone, and it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen once this year. I think we're gonna get that feeling, and then the Reds are gonna go back and get swept right by the Cardinals. It's gonna happen, right? It's baseball. A team's gonna get swept. Hopefully that's it's not an extended losing streak for the Reds. We're saying 0-3 against the Cards, 3-0 against the Cubs, 27-21 on the season. And again, I don't think that losing streak will extend, as they'll go back and head home to face the White Sox, face the Pirates. 2 teams I think are more than capable of losing 2 of 3 to the Reds, both of which I think will happen, bringing these Reds to 31-23 for their final 6 games of the season. They'll be big games. Playoff hopes are probably going to be on the line against 2 teams who will for sure as well be fighting for playoff spots. I think in Milwaukee and Minnesota, I think we see the Crew win too, but I think the Reds come back in a crucial series against the Twins and take 2 from them, ending the series, or ending those 2 series 1-2 and 2-1, and finishing the season off at 34-26. 8 games above 500. A 92 win season is what that would come out to be if it was a full 162. And I think it gets the Reds a playoff spot here. Call us optimistic. We're hoping it happens. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.